So welcome to our REDFeather Mind, Body, Spirit interview series. I'm Christopher McClure, and today we have a very special guest, Shannon Cox, and who has most recently created the intuitive adventure with Nat O'Brien, The Magic of Where Your Soul Leads. We want to catch up today and learn more about this amazing book and what's ahead. But first, a little background on Shannon. Shannon Cox is a Australian mother and business owner who was diagnosed with a stress disorder in 2013, leaving her unable to walk. With no medical solutions on how to fix it, she discovered alternative ways to help her recover the full use of her mind and body and soul, and which I think is really amazing. I'll get into that in a moment. So what she thought would be a method of healing her body turned out to be a collection of activities to grow her intuition. This journey showed her what she truly desired was not only possible, but could also be manifested in her daily life and business. So wonderful to have you here. This is the first time we've actually seen each other in person. So I'm excited about that. And I'm fresh off of reading the book here again. So I'm excited about that. And so I wanted to let the audience know about more about this book and yourself and how great a resource it is. So tell the audience a little bit more about your background, if you would.
Yeah, sure. So like you said, 2013, I had a stress disorder that came up. I think it's funny, if someone had said you're going to write a spiritual book anytime before that, I would have thought they were crazy. It wasn't really something on my radar in any shape or form. And I had this moment where I went, as long as I'm happy, as long as I can find a way forward where I can trust myself and be happy, then that's the most important part. And it was really interesting. I think from that sort of moment onwards, I opened up to energy healing, to learning about chakras, learning about auras, and all these sort of tools started to come my way. And that's really, I think, where this journey sort of began. And then I ran into Nat online and loved her illustrations and wanted to just make a diary or something like that. And every week I just put in little tips that had helped me on my journey. And by the end of the diary, we had 52 weeks of information, and then we had 12 months of activities, and we sort of looked at it and went, we have a book. We didn't realize we were going to have a book.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so the next 6 months after sort of the diary was finished, we put this book together and sort of expanded on all of these concepts, and that's the book that you're holding at the moment, sort of all the things that helped me on that journey.
Yeah, it's really it's a fascinating personal story too, and how you came through that. And it was so inexplicable, reading about just your legs just going out and why, right? And then you'd be fine, and then all of a sudden then they just go out again, and so it's really amazing that you kind of piece this together kind of for yourself without a guru or whatever. I mean, that's my impression, is that you just threw yourself into studying these things and just healing yourself, which is really quite amazing. And just going through this, there are so many methods in here. It's really, I have dog ears and all kinds of things here that I want to explore more myself. And I love the fact that, the suggestion really is that you kind of flip through it a little bit, kind of a little like, bibliomancy almost, where you flip through it and you pick up the one that works, for you. This is the one that pops out. So I use that method myself too, which is really fun. And I know that I'll go back to this a lot myself when in need. So how is this book kind of different than other books that are out there about intuition or self-improvement? How is it really different in that respect?
It really is lots of activity to get you trying it and seeing how it works, and it helps you sort of go, if you enjoyed that, then here's some more information, read this book or have a look at this or try this method. So it gives you a chance to sort of find what area, I guess, of, there's so many different categories in this area. It gives you a chance to play and discover the ones that light you up and you want to learn more about as well.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's what it's a good starting point for anyone who wants to, say, oh, I always want to kind of learn about this, and you give them just enough. And then you do actually have resources in there. It's like, if you want to learn more, then go to this book or go to here. It really just runs the gamut. I kind of wrote down some of my favorites my favorite, the ones that I gravitated towards, I'd put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, right. Yeah, personally. So you talk about like automatic writing, which is really fascinating for me, just getting into and doing that, which I think is really interesting. And just, just focusing on the life choices that you make. I think that's really powerful, and how you can kind of control that and focus. Visualization, of course, even the way you touched on visualization is very accessible, where someone can just come in and really say, oh yeah, I can do that. Because I think there's so many other books that are out there that are like intimidating, I guess, really. Sometimes I think people are like, oh, I can't do that, or I can't visualize, or I can't do this, but in each profile, as I stated, it's explained in a way that's very clear, and without a lot of jargon to it, which is great. And so again, it's a really wonderful jumping off point for someone who wants to learn then more from there too. One that really got me was this muscle testing. So I want to ask you about muscle testing. So could you explain that a little bit more? So that I want to go, and I have a time to go more into that. But what exactly is that again? It's like it's really fascinating to me, because actually that's literally the first time I've heard of that. And I read a lot about these things, and it's like muscle test.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is it an Australian thing? And just for the audience too, Shannon is in Australia here, so we apologize for any connection issues or with that, but we wanted to be able to do this here. So anyway, so it's not just Australian.
No. Actually, I learned about it from a couple of people, all within, I think, a few weeks of coming out of hospital. And so one was Donna Eden, who does energy medicine and talks about muscle testing. And then kinesiology is another form of muscle testing. So that's sort of where it comes from.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So I have the book at home on my shelf, kinesiology, but I've never. You have those books where you're like, oh yeah, I really want to learn that. But see, I never opened it. So now I have it. So now I know, oh yeah, of course, right? I gotta go to that's the book I gotta go and look into more.
So with muscle testing, it gave me a chance to ask my body questions and get answers from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really fascinating. And so you were kind of breaking up there. I apologize, a little bit there, but as it's explained in the book, it's really using your dominant hand to join your third finger and thumb as you're about to flick your finger out, and just it's a very simple method, but then usually using I guess you mentioned the jug and just if you're able to lift things and how you lift them, it's just fascinating. I don't know, I really want to test it out. I haven't had a chance yet, but that kind of goes hand in hand a little bit with then the energy testing. They kind of go together as well, like what is the energy around these decisions too, and using your intuition. That's really powerful, and that one I knew about, but I think that combination with the muscle testing is really a powerful combination, I think, for using your intuition to make proper choices as well. And also from one that I really gravitated towards, I really like, and actually I already used it, didn't even know it, was the healing temple. Actually, I used that one, and I never had really called it that before. And it's like, oh, I'm reading this. It's like, oh yeah, I do that. and it's very, very helpful. Yeah, I just stuff for my own. So so I guess I used my own intuition and made this place. And it's what is really cool is I kind of got excited that there was that synchronicity there with what I was reading and what I had done, and to have that reinforcement that someone else has done that too and had success with it was really, really, really cool. Could you explain that a little bit too? Because I could explain it from my point of view, but mine's very personal. So what's the healing temple like? What is that kind of like?
So I think it's a beautiful space that we as a soul create to heal ourselves and reconnect with our spiritual groupies, if you want to call them that.
Oh, that's great. For those who couldn't quite make that out through some of the how it's coming through here. So basically what you do with that is when you create your healing area within the space, if you don't mind, I'm going to read from the book a little bit. So you can include whatever you wish, an incredible view, a shower, a spa, or a sauna, maybe a natural waterfall, and be as detailed as you wish with this area. look at the floor, the ceiling, the doorway, create your ambiance that calls to you. Now create a space where you can lay your body to be healed. You say personally, you prefer a space where you can almost levitate or visualize your entire body healing energetically at a cellular level. And then once that space is created, you can go back to it, which is really, really powerful. So that's, yeah. So, and the thing is, it's always accessible too, whenever you need to get to that space, you don't have to, it's right within you, and you can go there whenever you need that healing. I think it's a really powerful, powerful method. There's so many powerful methods in here. And then, oh yeah, and the soul pieces. Let me see if I find that dog here, soul pieces. See, explain the soul pieces a little bit better. See this, I'm using it for my own selfish purposes here a little bit. Like, explain that better, more. Not exactly, I can explain really well in this, but for my own, for myself more in the audience, explain what soul pieces are from the expert.
It's about like shamanic journeys that you can do to retrieve a part of you that's been affected, whether it's via trauma, whether it's something to do with a past life, or it can be a altercation with someone. There's lots of reasons why a part of our soul may turn around and depart, and sometimes there's a reason that we feel like we don't need it anymore. For whatever reason, we feel like we don't need to be, whether it's assertive or whether it's permissive, or there's a reason that we've sort of at some stage said, you are not useful, bugger off, go away. And so a journey, it's a shamanic journey that you can take to go retrieve your soul pieces. And so I remember I read a book, and it was just one of those real powerful moments where you went, I know this inside of me. I've done this before. This is something that I love and am remembering.
That's beautiful, really. And just to kind of pull from the book again, really, it's basically where a visualization where you can retrieve your missing soul pieces, known as a shamanic journey. So again, this is a good example of taking, people who might hear shamanic journeys like, oh, I can't go on a vision quest, or I can't do this or that, but you translate it into a way of like, oh, I can do that, really, which is really beautiful. And I think one of the things that makes it, and this is throughout the book, really, where you take these concepts and just break them down and make them useful in a way that can really help people. I think, and since there are so many examples, and that's really what it's all about. It's self-healing and someone not having to have necessarily a guru or a system or advanced system already, just for yourself, really. So, but with this one here, with the shamanic journey, so essentially, when you take these, you're guided by your animal totem. They're a whale or a dolphin, and you jump onto their backs, and which is really cool. You allow yourself to be taken to wherever you need to go, and you describe like a shipwreck and what you saw within this journey. It's a really beautiful passage. I won't read the whole thing, but powerful at the same time as well too. So I have a lot of dog ears in here, a lot of markups. I do that with books. So so people hate getting books from me because I'll give them read this, but then it's all like marked up and all written in and things and all that. So I just have a habit of doing that. But yeah. So in addition to the ones that we talk about here, it goes into talks about chakras, spirit guides, pendulums, space clearing, the bibliomancy a little bit, and the method that you describe, and as far as using this too, is just to kind of flick through it and see where you gravitate towards, and that's a way to for this book, and also to for any book, really any book that has that power to and what is that passage trying to say to you. You talk about star seeds, which is a whole other thing. We go down a whole little rabbit hole. Star seeds, so you talk about oracle cards. So we actually have some oracle cards that work with the star seed concept and things. And so you have so you can interplay of different methods here, and past lives even, which is fascinating, and a kind of a method to access that. And and then there's space, and that nice thing about this too is there's space for your own notes, and I have my own notes in here too. So that's great. plus more that I've written too. That's another thing. I shove my notes. Then if I don't write enough in the book, and I put notes inside, it's terrible. I have a problem, I think. But there's a lot of great methods in here. I can just imagine the process of how you discovered these things. It's just, it must have been exhilarating to find, and as you put them into use, then too,
Yeah.
you would be just more and more energized as they come together. I imagine it's exciting to think about, and I want to try that. But you've done it for me now, so I don't have to. So it's all right here already. I can follow it. Right here. It's already here. So if someone had to take like one thing, from the book, what do you think that would be that takes one thing away, from reading this or using this?
I think the most important thing from it for me was that the answers you need are inside of you. That if you're looking for an answer, you can find it in one way or another. That you are your own healer. Yeah,
I think you're exactly right. It's just knowing that that's empowering. To know that the answers really are inside you, and to trust like that. A big thank you, really, to Shannon. Thanks for being a part of this here, and everyone who tunes in then to watch it. The Intuitive Adventure is available at REDFeatherMBS.com, wherever Mind by Spirit items are sold. Right now in the U.S., it's coming to Australia too, here soon, in a few months here. So it's going worldwide. So it's coming worldwide. So hang tight. It'll be on its way. I know that's going to pique interest in things, but it's going to get there to wherever you happen to be. So many thanks again to you, and we'll have to do more of this as I go off on different tangents on my own adventure. If you indulge me, I'll come back to you and say, hey, where else can I go, maybe, So if you
absolutely
don't, wonderful, great, I look forward to it. Great. Well, thanks to everyone who watched this, and really have a beautiful day.